It's now time for the WLEW Sports Postgame Show on Sports Radio 102.1 FM, WLEWSports.com, and now live on Facebook. Presented by Sure Health.
And good evening, folks, and welcome to our postgame show on the WLEW Sports Network. My name is Clark Ramsey. To the right of me, Dave Hanson. We've seen plenty of these games. We've seen plenty of rivalry games over the years, and yet it never gets old. All the way through this game, two heated rivals, the Kansas City Redhawks, the Oakton Pigeon Bayport Lakers, goes back all the way to 1960. They played every year pretty much except for COVID. That's the only year they haven't played, and it certainly showed tonight. There were no surprises from either side, and yet they knew what they're going to do, and yet both teams had some explosive plays, but it was mostly the Lakers coming out on top, controlling the tempo, controlling the trenches. More big plays than the Kansas City Redhawks. Sustained drives despite having an extremely lopsided time possession in favor of Kansas City. But yet here we are with a Laker 5-point victory, 18-13 over Kansas City. To walk us through the scoring plays.
Yeah, it didn't take long. It was the third play of the game, and it was Braxton Kolax on a 62-yard touchdown run. Brody Shefka would knock in the extra point. End of the first quarter, it was 7-0 Kansas City. Didn't take long, though. The second quarter was all Lakers. Ben Lavasser hits Cade Weisenbaugh on a 79-yard throw and catch on third down and long. Their extra point would be wide left. Kansas City would still lead at that time 7-6. Later in the quarter, Weisenbaugh would score on a 14-yard run. That was a reverse. The 2-point conversion would fail, and at the end of the second quarter, Lakers would lead this game 12-7. Third quarter, nobody found their way into the end zone. In the fourth quarter, it was Grant Buchholz's turn from 14 yards out. He runs it in. The 2-point pass would fail. They extend their lead to 18-7, but Kansas City wasn't done yet. Preston Dorland hits Riker Wallace out of the backfield. 46-yard touchdown pass down the middle of the field. The 2-point run would fail, and Kansas City would get it to 18-13, and at the final minutes of the game, they would drive inside the red zone of Lakers, but their final pass as time expired would be picked off, and that's how our game would end.
Yeah, it was 7-0 Kansas City at the end of the first quarter, 12-7 Lakers at halftime. No score in the third quarter, and then that led into I wouldn't say a wild fourth quarter, but just a little bit bizarre. Every time there was a little momentum going for either team, something would happen, something strange would occur, and both teams find the end zone for 6 points in the fourth quarter, but it would be Lakers hanging on by 5 points, 18-13 over their foe, the Kansas City Redhawks, and a good win for the Lakers, especially on the road. They lost 2 in a row to Kansas City. Always good to beat your rival, especially on their home turf. That feels good, I'm sure, for Lakers. And they did it with big plays. It seemed like Lakers controlled the entire second half, but when Kansas City just kept converting on fourth downs with a big play and hanging on by a thread to continue this play all the way down to the final play and final second of the game, which, like you said, resulted in an interception in the end zone. So game could have turned out, a few things went for Kansas City, but the same thing with Lakers. A few plays have gone their way. This wouldn't have been a 5-point game. This would have been maybe a 3-possession game in favor of Lakers.
Yeah, absolutely. It was definitely a tennis match where it went back and forth. The momentum was in different sides of the field depending on which way you're looking at it, but it was all Kansas City in the first quarter.
Yeah.
It gets that big play, then some punts back and forth. Defense really took over the game for a while. Even when Lakers got their first touchdown, that 79-yard touchdown pass, it was third down and long. And it was a drop back and heave it downfield, and my guy wins one-on-one and takes it to the house, right? So the offense scores on a big play. No different than Braxton Kolax. It was a run for one, and a run for 62. That's how the game started. So you get these big plays, and that defined the game. It was a lot of tough love on first down, going nowhere, leading to second and third and long. We got a couple big plays early, and after that, it was a lot of punts. And the defense was winning all night long.
10 punts in this ball game. 6 for Lakers, 4 for Kansas City. And so you take that into account. It's hard to keep momentum going, but when it mattered the most impressive thing for me is Lakers' defense held strong when they needed to, came up with some big stops. Kansas City tried to do some things, and all of a sudden they had luck with Braxton Kolax on the outside or Riker Wallace, whatever it is. And then Lakers would adjust and shut that down. So then Kansas City would try something else. They'd shut it down. Kansas City had 2 turnover on downs. Well, one was an interception on a fourth down, which would result in a turnover anyway on downs. So Kansas City's just couldn't get it over, but credit goes to Lakers' defense in this one.
Yeah, Lakers' defense did their job, and Lakers didn't hurt themselves.
Correct.
Cass City, both of those long drives we talked about that come up with no points, right? They get right down the end zone, and then a penalty kicks them back way out of scoring zone, becomes a turnover of downs. And then the next time they get down there close, they get a big loss on the play. Then they overcome with a passing touchdown. Hold on a second, flag on the field, penalty, back them up out of their area again. And they take points off the board. So as much as we can say, hey, Lakers was the better team for a very long period of time, Cass City had points ripped off the board. And they had another long drive that stalled because of a penalty inside the 10-yard line. Those are things that good teams can't do, and then they were unable to overcome. Lakers survived. So both teams had some bad luck, had some things happen at the wrong time.
Correct.
They both had big plays. They both forced a lot of punts. These teams were quite equal most of the game, but it was Lakers, to me, that come up with the bigger plays. If I'd have told you when the game started, Clark, that Ben Lavasser is going to go 4 of 15 passing today, that's the reaction I'd have got.
And win.
And Cass City, you'd been, Cass City's going to win this game.
Yeah.
But those 4 completions went to 150 yards, and they were the plays you remember in this game because they were the ones that mattered, that sparked the away team. It sparked the green and white, and that led to some scoring drives.
Let's take a look at those stat sheets now for you here in Cass City. As our it's not working on me. Oh, I'm pushing the wrong thing. How about that? There we go. As it's been one of those days, Dave. I need to reach over here and push a button in the meantime. So, Dave Hanson, a lot of big drives, but also a lot of big plays that accounted for a lot of yards here in Cass City tonight. And there we go. All right, now we can take a look.
Perfect.
It's been that kind of night. Lakers with 255 yards on 36 plays, resulting in 3 scores, averaging 7 yards per play tonight from the line of scrimmage. Cass City, 69 plays. 69 plays for Cass City to Lakers 36. 357 yards for the Redhawks. 2 turnovers, 2 touchdowns, averaging 5.2 per play. Cass City ran 33 more plays for 102 more yards, but yet it was the Lakers coming up victorious by 5 points, 18-13. Rushing the ball for Lakers, 21 carries for 104 yards and 2 scores, averaging 5 yards per carry. Their longest run of the night, 31 yards from Grant Buchholz, which kind of salted the game away. That was that final score for the Lakers on that drive. Through the air, Ben Lavasser, 4 for 15 for 151 yards and 1 score. His longest pass, 79 yards. That was brought in by Cade Weisenbaugh. 2 receptions of the night, totaling 115 yards, including that 1 score. Luke Good, 1 reception for 21 yards. Caden Caribou, 1 reception for 15 yards. Lucas Weiner was targeted 6 times, had staunch defense from Cass City on him. No completed passes there. Grant Buchholz led the way, 10 carries for 63 yards and a score. Cade Weisenbaugh, 2 carries for 29 yards in the other score. Luke Good, 2 carries, 11 yards, and Ben Lavasser, 7 carries for 1 yard.
Yeah, it's a wild stat sheet to look at. I mean,
Bit bizarre.
There's some huge numbers, and then there's some numbers you just scratch your head at. I mean, so take a look at Grant Buchholz, for example. The second to last series, he had back-to-back runs, a first down run and then a 31-yard touchdown run. The other 8 carries accumulated about 20 yards. So the run game was non-existent for Lakers. They got it when they needed it later in the fourth quarter, but man, was it tough sledding on the ground for them, which put a lot more pressure on Ben Lavasser, which then allowed Cass City to get after him in the backfield, force some throws. The timing was just off. There were fingertips away from a couple more big plays. Lucas Wayner's one of them. He probably had 2 or 3 of them that were this close to him having 80 yards receiving on the game. So just some very close plays that didn't quite work out for Lakers on offense, but they got the big ones when they needed it.
For Cass City, 54 carries for 229 yards, averaging 4.2 per tote tonight, with 1 score that was ran in by Braxton Kolax. That was the very first play, first scoring play of the game, just the 3rd play from scrimmage. Through the air, Preston Dorland, 7 for 15 for 128 yards, 2 interceptions, and 1 touchdown. Riker Wallace, 25 carries for 130 yards, averaging 5 yards per tote, carrying the ball 46% of the time tonight for Cass City. Braxton Kolax, 4 carries for 57 yards. In the score, Jackson Anthony, 10 carries for 21 yards. Will Perry, 7 carries for 12 yards. Preston Dorland, 7 carries, 11 yards. And Ethan Spears, who recovered a fumble for Cass City, 1 carry for a loss of 2. Through the air, Braxton Kolax brought in the most catches with 4 for 63 yards on 6 targets. Riker Wallace, 2 receptions for 56 yards and a score, including a 46-yard reception. Jackson Anthony, 1 reception for 9 yards.
Yeah, it was really the Riker Wallace show. I mean, he came up big. He was hobbling all over the place, but he'd check out for a play and get back in there, and they'd give it right back to him. He averaged over 5 yards a carry, but 130 yards on the ground, caught another 50 yards, got it into the end zone for this Cass City team. I mean, he's one of their leaders, their veterans, seniors on the team, and he played his butt off tonight, all over the place on offense. He was one of the few bright spots on offense, but especially on the ground.
Let's take a look at the defensive side of things now. The Lakers with 4 tackles for loss on 63 tackles, including 2 interceptions. Cass City, 23 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, and 2 pass breakups. Lucas Lasowski, no surprise here, with 12 tackles on the night, including 1 for a loss. Luke Good, 10 tackles and 1 tackle for a loss. Matt Murdoch, 9 tackles, 1 tackle for a loss. And Levi Wren, 7 tackles and 1 tackle for a loss. Those 4 alone account for 38 tackles this evening, including 4 tackles for a loss. Pretty darn impressive, just those 4 alone.
Yeah, that's your core 4 of your defense, right? Yeah. Those are the 4 guys in the middle, and Coach Levaster's got to love having them.
Absolutely.
Because it is tough to get by those 4. Just Cass City was only able to do it once or twice this evening, but those are some quality football players there on defense for Lakers.
For the Cass City defense, Jackson Anthony led the way with 7 tackles, Will Perry 6 tackles and 1 tackle for a loss. Preston Dorland 2 tackles, Gavin Franzel 2 tackles, Blake Makoviak 2 tackles, and 1 of those was for a loss. Then 4 tackles between Braxton Kolax, Riker Wallace, Brady Kruger, and Dylan Berger.
Yeah, it's amazing how a team only runs 36 plays, how much smaller the defensive side looks versus the team that ran 69 plays. But yeah, like I said, Cass City, very, very tough on defense. I mean, if they would have been told that they were going to hold this Lakers offense to 255 total yards, I think they felt good about their chances of winning the game.
Yeah, so it put this in a nutshell for us, Dave, here tonight. How did the Lakers put together enough pieces for this score and for the touchdown and for the win tonight?
I think they made less mistakes.
Yeah, you're spot on.
They did not hurt themselves as much as Cass City did. Cass City come up with the big penalty when they just absolutely could not have it. Yeah. The quarterback drops the football while he's scrambling out. He's got to recover it, and it turns into a big loss, and now you're way behind the chains. Cass City found a way to be penalized 6 times. It felt like every one of them killed the drive, killed the momentum. The turnovers don't even bother me. The one was a heave at the end, a desperation play. But like I said, that wasn't even the core of the game. It was the penalties. It was the weird clock management at the end of the game. It was just these certain unique things that just hurt Cass City at the end. That it was always Cass City. It was never Lakers. It was always Cass City with that weird call, the weird spot, whatever it was. They found a way to have that weirdness about them. They just couldn't get that last touchdown. Like I said, you look at the score right now, there's 6 points taken off the board for Cass City because of penalty. Yep. And another
lost by 5.
Right, and another drive where they lose huge yardage when they're on the 5-yard line, right? They lose huge yardage, move way back. Now it's 3rd and long, 4th and long. They do things that's uncharacteristic, right? So, like I said, this team, I thought Cass City played very well. I thought Lakers did as well, but too many mistakes that can be cleaned up by Cass City cost them this game.
So Lakers now continues their road trip. They have 3 games in a row on the road. They're at home against Ubly, home against Vassar. Now they defeat Cass City to improve to 3-0 on the season, including 1-0 in divisional play, as they hoped and were seeking out to, and they achieved that. Dave Levasseur certainly made that clear at the beginning of the season. They need to be in league contention, and certainly defeating your foe on the road is a big thing. Now they travel to Caro and then at Central Montcalm to wrap up this road trip before returning home against Sandusky and Millington.
Yeah, like I said, Caro is an improved football team, but I like Lakers' chances there. I like Lakers' chances the next week, and then Sandusky's an interesting matchup for them. A couple teams that are a little bit more pass heavy.
We'll see that game,
which we will. Which I'm excited about that because 2 very similar teams. We'll see the growth of Sandusky and that Coach Palmer offense one more time. I don't know if Sandusky's defense, as of 2 weeks worth of football, I don't know if their defense can get off the field enough against Lakers. So I kind of like Lakers a little bit right now.
Same.
But then it's at home against Millington.
Yeah, that's going to be a big one. Cass City, now they had 2 games in a row at home against Hemlock, winning that one, losing to Lakers. They now fall to 1-2 on the season. They now hit the road, a big game at Millington.
Yeah, and like I said, Millington comes in as the favorite on their
Without
side,
a doubt,
in their side in the white conference, right? So again, it's going to take everything they got to beat Millington. But you saw that Riker Wallace isn't 100%. This team had made some mistakes. They got a lot to clean up because Millington's not going to make those mistakes, and they will make you pay for them if you give them the opportunity.
So Dave Hanson, I think it's time to name our Ameriprise Financial Player of the Game.
Yeah, it's actually close, and it's close because there's a guy on the winning team and the losing team that made a heck of a case. But it's going to be Cade Weisenbaugh.
Yes.
Every time Cade Weisenbaugh touched the football, it was in a big moment, and it was a play you remember. He had the 79-yard touchdown. He had the 14-yard reverse. They actually called that play again, and it went for another 15 yards, and then he catches another third down, 30-yard pass down the field. So when they got the ball to Cade Weisenbaugh, he made the Cass City defense pay for 145 total yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 of the 3 touchdowns for Lakers. So a big game for him, and don't be surprised if his number is dialed up more in the future because he played outstanding and is your Ameriprise Financial Player of the Game.
Yeah, Cade Weisenbaugh, 2 receptions for 115 yards and a score, including a 79-yard reception for that touchdown, and then 2 carries for 29 yards and another rushing touchdown for Cade Weisenbaugh, your Ameriprise Financial Player of the Game. So congratulations, Cade Weisenbaugh. Let's take a look at our media round table. It's time to fall on your sword, fellas. All 5 took Cass City tonight, and all 5 were wrong. I, by default, had Lakers, and so I get the victory for the season, for the week. So now it is Kendall Anthus 1, Dan Banky 1, Clark Ramsey 1. So I'm tied for the lead. That feels good, but for the wrong reasons, unfortunately for you guys. But let's take a look at other area scores. We'll start in 8-player football. All Saints and New Haven Merritt, 51-0 All Saints. Pack over Caseville, 46-6 is your final. Kingston at home against Memphis, 64-6 is your final in Kingston. Deckerville blanks Bad Axe in Bad Axe, 41-0 this afternoon. Last we heard in the second quarter, Dryden and Mayville were tied 8 apiece. Haven't heard back on that one. In 11-player football, the Backyard Brawl, Harbor Beach 33, Ubly 6. The winning by 27 points. Sounds like Harbor Beach was resting some of their starters later in the game, perhaps due to injury, perhaps just resting them. Not exactly sure there, but Ubly gets on the board in the fourth quarter. USA blanks Marlette in Marlette, 44-0. Last we heard, Reese was leading faster in the first quarter. Haven't heard anything since. Sandusky at Millington, and it was Millington 55, Sandusky 20. Tovar had 4 receptions for 129 yards and 2 scores for Sandusky, but to be Millington winning by 35 points with a running clock at the end. And then, thank you, Kendall. Schoolcraft, 32, Constantine 14. Schoolcraft now improves to 2-1 on the season. So, running joke there for Kendall Anthus. Dave Hanson, final thoughts here from Cass City, Michigan.
Yeah, as always, thanks to Cass City. They're great hosts. And, we got to see a really close,
game,
competitive football game. Like I said, it got a little weird there at the end and some sloppy moments. But for the most part, a competitive game, a close one. 10 punts. We haven't seen a game with 10 punts in it in a long time. But nonetheless, a really good competitive game. I thought Cass City played very well. Got to clean that stuff up. They might have gone home with a victory, but congratulations to the road team. This is a tough place to come play. Lakers knows that. It's been a couple of years since they've won this game, but they earned it tonight. They were the better team. And again, congratulations to Cade Weisenbaugh on a big-time game in a big moment for his team.
Yeah, and we survived, Dave. It was a funky game, funky game. And I think that's why I feel
it's tough when the rhythm is. It's tough when the rhythm is taken out of the game. It's taken out of the game, out of our hands, out of the players' hands.
10 penalties in this game for 70 yards.
Yes, but a lot of confusion on what was happening and what they were, and there was just a lot of different things that was happening that definitely threw out the rhythm, made it tough. But like I said, we battled through it. We got there. And on to next week. Yeah,
and I say that not because I don't want that to be taken away from Lakers for this victory. This is a big victory for the Lakers,
huge,
especially on the road against your rival, Cass City. You're now 3-0 on the season, going in, and now you've got 2 extremely winnable games against Cairo and Central Montcalm before going back home against Sandusky. Things are moving in the right direction for the Lakers.
Yeah, there's a real reason to believe they'll be undefeated when we see them next.
Yep, absolutely.
And like I said, no, it was absolutely a very good game. 2 very equal teams, I felt, and when it came down to it, they both got the big plays. It was Lakers that didn't make the little mistakes that cost you in a close game. That's what it comes down to, is the little things.
Yep.
They didn't have those penalties. They didn't have the drive stallers, and their defense went toe-to-toe with this Cass City offense. bend but not break. They gave up 350 yards. That's not usually a good thing, but you only allow 2 touchdowns. That's a good thing.
That is a good thing.
Like I said, this Lakers team is tough, and they're going to be tough to beat, and their uniqueness of their offense with how they attack you through the air is different for a lot of teams. So congratulations to them. That is a big win, and we said before the game started that if they can get in some rhythm, whoever wins this game, that's probably the team that's going to give Millington their best shot, and hopefully they can do that in a few weeks.
So Dave Hanson, thanks for your help tonight. We'll see you next week in Deckerville.
Looking forward to it.
That should be a good one. Tonight's game broadcast was brought to you by Thumb Sailor and AVS Broadband, Conic Radiator Air Conditioning of Mannix, Randy's Hunting Center, North Star Bank, Countryside Sales and Service, Dia Services of Cass City, Thumb Bank and Trust, Thumb Electric and TEC Fiber, Harbor Beach Community Hospital, Laker Schools, Aspire Rural Health System with Hills and Dales Healthcare, Tina Seeley of Farm Bureau Insurance, and Sure Health, Better Life. Are you sure? So on behalf of Dave Hanson, in-game analysis, Doug Cole, our director of sports information, the best spotter in the business, that'd be Dan Benke, and our associate producer, Kendall Anthus. We'd like to thank Cass City for all the hospitality tonight. Congratulations goes out to the Elkton Pigeon Bayport Lakers with a hard-fought, tenacious 18-13 victory by 5 points, hanging on when they needed to against a pesky Cass City foe. Final score, Lakers 18, Cass City 13. We'll return back to the airwaves next Friday as we shift our attention to 8-player football. Brown City at Deckerville, one of the most intriguing games in 8-player football. Good night, folks. So long.
This has been a presentation of the WLEW Sports Network, powered by AVS Broadband. On Sports Radio 102.1 FM and live and worldwide at WLEWsports.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Just search for WLEW Sports. Your home for high school football is the WLEW Sports Network.